everyone! In this video, I'm going to show you a foundation technique that was designed by JungSaemMool 원장님 in Korea. So a lot of women are concerned about having the appearance of a smaller face. If you were to choose to have a face the size of a baseball versus a basketball, I think most women would say that they would like to have a small face the size of a baseball. And the first rule in the Code 7 theory created by JungSaemMool 원장님 is the thin and thick rule. So if you look at the face, you have the forehead and then this area near your eyes. If you look at this area, it basically creates a star shape, right? These are the areas where we have thinner layers of skin. So if you feel the skin right here, you feel your bone. Down your nose and around here, your mouth. This is where we get, the deep frown lines. And then we start to get the fine lines and wrinkles and then the crow's feet as we age, right? So this is what we call the star zone. And when we apply the makeup, we basically want to apply it where we have thicker skin. So this is a thin and thick rule again, okay? So this is, if you can grab this area right here, this is a thicker skin, right? So when you apply the makeup and you apply your skincare, this is the area where it can hold the most amount of makeup for a longer period of time. So this is where we would be applying the foundation. And with this rule specifically, we would draw a V. Now, the reason why we would apply the foundation in a V shape is so that we can cast a natural shadow here so we don't have to do all of the contouring and adding the bronzer here. So you save time, you save product, but there are exceptions to the rule. If you have acne-prone skin and you have acne along your jawline, you would obviously want to cover that area, and then if you wanted to contour with the bronzer, then you can do that. Another exception is if you really wanted to apply bronzer, okay, to really chisel out this area, you would apply the foundation just so that it holds on better than applying the bronzer onto bare skin, especially if your bronzer was in a powder formula versus a cream formula. It basically just highlights this area right here. A lot of people do the whole strobing where they're highlighting and then they're going in and contouring this area. It kind of eliminates that extra step, so you're also saving time. And this is another reason why she came up with it, not only to really highlight that area, but to save time as well. In doing a lot of celebrities' makeup, you're always pressed for time when you're doing shoots and things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna show you using the product that she created last fall, and this is the Essential Star Sealer Foundation. Okay, so basically it looks like this, where it has this little pump right here, and the foundation would pump out of this hole right there. And then this is called the skin palette. So this kind of mimics our skin so that we can kind of mix, and if we needed to mix the foundation with the concealer for a thicker consistency, we can do that there. So I'm just gonna take one full pump there. Okay, you see that? I'm going to take a foundation brush, and this is what a lot of celebrity makeup artists in Korea use to apply foundation. I know a lot of people like to use these bigger, rounder brushes to buff in the foundation. You have the stippling brushes, you have the beauty blender and things like that. In Korea, this is a good way to layer the foundation. Not that you can't layer with the beauty blender. On myself, I used to like to use just my fingers or a sponge similar to the beauty blender. Back then, I used to use these rounder brushes to kind of buff in the makeup, but I found that you can't really layer with this. You would just have to apply a lot of foundation at once and then try to buff it all in. Okay, so I was using a lot more product, but with this, I'm using a minimal amount of product, and then I can just use more if I really need to on the areas that need it. One more thing to mention before we go on to this foundation tutorial is that you see that I have a brush that is used. It has been sanitized with alcohol. I always like to keep a handy bottle of alcohol on my vanity so that I can sanitize my brushes right away. especially my eyeliner and these foundation brushes. When I'm using makeup brushes on a client, I will definitely deep cleanse at the end of the day. I only use one brush per client, so I have a lot of foundation brushes. For myself, I will just wash this at the end of the week, but after each use, I will sanitize it with alcohol so that there is no bacteria buildup. And if you can, it's good to wash it every day. So they like to basically train the makeup brushes so that the hairs stick together. And when you apply, it kind of gives you this seamless application where you don't get all the streaking from the hairs like spreading apart. And basically you want to use foundation brushes that are tapered at the ends so that are skinny like this, okay? All of the ones that I have right here are tapered at the ends and are skinny. The bristles stay together, they don't spread apart. These are really high quality. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pack the foundation on both sides of the brush because we're going to try to cover both sides at once. I'm going to use one side of the brush for this side of the face and then the other side for this side, and then we're going to see if we need more. We're not going to use another pump at this moment, okay? If you look at my face, this part of my face is naturally darker. It kind of casts a shadow. The easy way to do it is to, if you're a newbie at this, you can draw a line, okay? And then basically fill in, okay? It's like a coloring book, okay? You draw a line and then like outline and then fill in this area right here, this triangular area. Or if you think you're really good and you have a steady hand, you can basically draw a line like this going down and blend as you go, instead of drawing a line literally like that and then trying to fill in, okay? So I'm gonna do it the way that I'm most comfortable with, and I'm gonna start right here. And this is really important. So the way that you can tell if a foundation has full coverage or not is the first swipe on your face. If it's opaque where you can't see through the foundation, that means the foundation has really good coverage. Okay, so starting with this area, remember this V, okay? So I'm going to start right there. So then I'm going to go down one more right there. You can't see that freckle, so this foundation has really good coverage. It has that perfect natural finish. It's not super dry and matte, but it's not super dewy either. So it has that, it's crazy. This foundation has really good coverage and it has a really pretty finish. Okay, so going down, creating a sort of V, okay? Do you notice that this is a really good match for my skin tone? It basically covers my rosacea too. So now that I went down in a V, okay, I'm going to go back up, okay, in the center of my face, blending out this line, but getting more coverage as I go. I'm moving inwards, okay? So going inwards like this, one stroke at a time, all the way up to here. We're not going all the way up to the temples. Now we're gonna go back down and kind of blend out this line. So as long as it's not darker than this area, you're good. Just make sure it's lighter than this area of your face, okay? You can't really see it that well, but you still want to make sure it's all blended nice and even. And then you're gonna get around the nose area because that's where we get really red. Okay, so get into your nose area. Okay, and then go back into this triangular zone right here. And make sure you're sweeping across your dark circles. And then wherever it's dark. Okay, and then you just pat it. Pat, pat, pat. And then for those of you guys who like to apply bronzer here, lightly going over this area, not adding more to the brush, just with whatever's left over. So far, I have this much coverage. It covered up my rosacea. So with the other side, it's still loaded. I haven't used the other side yet. This time, I'll show you guys how to draw a line. Literally, you just draw a line. And then you're going to go inwards, kind of get more coverage there. Then you're gonna go in, move in towards the center of your face. Okay, down to your chin. Now you see that you still see this line right here. It needs to be blended out. So I'm gonna go back, then pat. So now at this point, I don't have anything left on my brush, so I might need half a pump to go over the rest of my nose and my forehead. Half a pump? Just have a pump. Okay. And I don't apply a lot on my forehead anyway. I'm just going to do that. And I have a pimple right there, so I'm going to try to cover that up. And down my nose. So if you have enlarged pores right here with your brush, instead of laying it flat, you kind of want to fill in like this, okay? Kind of as if you were buffering it in to your pores. Okay, right there, and then lightly pat. So for those of you guys who like to apply extra bronzer, you can definitely do that. Remember, just lightly go over this area with the brush, not applying more foundation, but just to have the bronzer have something to hold on to right there, especially if you're using a powder formula. I am going to use just the cream formula. It's not really a cream, it's a tinted paste, and I can't really explain the texture of this. I'm going to just apply this in the hollows of my cheeks and blend it out down here. Okay, so I'm gonna apply it right there. Okay, and just kind of blend it out. So it looks natural, so it doesn't look like I purposely put bronzer there. Apply there, then blend it. So if you wanted to set the foundation with powder, you totally can. I'm going to use this new powder that I got. It's the La Mer powder. It's a loose powder. It's really expensive. I think it was like $60. Translucent, 0.88 ounce. And I heard that they're discontinuing it, so get it while you can unless you want to wait for the reformulated product. So I was basically looking for a powder that I could use even underneath my eyes. I've been using the Secret Brighten powder by Laura Mercier for years, but I just was looking for a new one and I wanted something that was really high quality, and I heard a lot of good reviews about this from other artists, and so I thought I would try it out. But basically, you can use any fluffy brush. You can use a fluffy brush like this. This is by Hakuhodo J103. This is by Picasso. This is 107. I like this one because you can really just go down the center and just kind of get into this area, like, you know, get into all the little crevices of your face. I also like this one, and it's by Hakuhodo, and I don't have the style number, but they're all super, super soft, and I've been using this one a lot lately, so I'm just going to use this one. So I'm just going to grab some powder, put it on both sides like this. I'm going to actually dust some off into the lid right here, so I don't apply too much at one time. What you want to do is kind of pat first, okay? Don't just start buffing the powder into set. You want to layer everything. So basically just kind of pat, 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 pat down your nose. Then get some more powder. Pat, 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 pat. Now it's time to kind of sweep everything on to set. Okay, it's almost like baking, but you're not leaving it on for a period of time. You're just going to blend it in right after. Get this area right here that's shiny on your lid. Okay, and I always make sure to get this area right here so that your hair doesn't just stick onto your face. So you just blend the powder out like this. So now that I have the foundation on, I want to apply a little bit of color. So I'm going to apply this new blush that I got by Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Cheek to Chic First Love Swish and Pop blusher, and I'm just going to grab some color like this, okay? And I'm going to apply it lightly because I don't want super rosy cheeks. I already had rosacea to begin with, so I basically just want to sweep it on. And you always want to apply it right here, okay? So the line from your nose, okay? And then right here, okay, diagonally. Okay, we're not applying it all the way up here. Okay, so we're just going to lightly apply there, lightly apply on this side. Okay, so I think that's it for this tutorial. The foundation is on, super natural. You can't tell that I have foundation on because it's a pretty good match right here, and I don't have a lot to begin with, and I only applied right here. I think that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment box below, and I'll be sure to repeat this technique a few more times so that all of you guys can get the hang of it, so that I won't have to do it anymore. So in future tutorials, I can basically work you up to a level where you guys can just do the foundation on your own, and I'll just be doing an eye look or a new lip look or something like that, and you guys can just follow along. Okay, so I think that's it, and yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!